Hey fellas, it is time for your next Denmark update. So the reason that I picked Denmark was I knew we were going to see them right away. And was that August 12th? Yep. So you're going to see them right away on August 12th. And then what I kind of shared with the coaches is what I think we're going to see in the postseason. So we created this D4 bracket history. So this goes back to 1999, and this is every team that qualified for the D4 playoffs and how many wins that they picked up in those playoffs, right? So the reds are zeros, and yellows are ones, greens are twos, blues are threes, purple 4, and then the dark blue is 5, so you're state champions. So then we kind of map it out this way. Almost looks like a DNA strand, so you can kind of get an idea of, okay, boy, this team pops up, Platteville pops up, Xavier pops up time and time again, Lakeside Lutheran pops up, St. Croix Central. And then closer to us, the teams that pop up are more like your Sheboygan Falls pop up in Division 4, your Wrightstowns, your Keels, Freedoms, Winneconne's, Little Chutes. Okay, so that's kind of the vein of what I'm thinking, like how we pick teams and how we prep teams. So again, I picked Denmark because we see them right away, and they're a good program, and they're well coached, and they're usually real physical kids. So I'm thinking if we went in on August 12th and just buried them, and looked really sharp doing it, I think that would be a good confidence boost for you, knowing that you can stick it to a really good program early. And hopefully builds that confidence that you have in your coaches that we'll get our work done to help put you in the right spot. Okay? So that's why I picked Denmark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just with Denmark's personnel. Not so much like picking on kids or focusing on athletic attributes of kids or of opponents, but more like based on what I see they have, how do I think that'll affect what they're going to be doing in the fall? Okay? And I guess to that point too, when I prepare for facing another team, I'm only usually thinking about us and our execution. I know like Daron talks about like that nameless, faceless opponent, and that's what I always thought. He's like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't even recognize the people that we're playing against. To me, they just look like blocking shields out there, right? So what can we do to take care of our performance? I think that's the key. But let's find out where they're at so we can go and figure out kind of what we think they're going to be doing on August 12th. All right, so their team this year I thought started with Owen DeGrand. Okay, 6 foot, 225 pound senior. Played guard. He was first team unanimous offense, first team unanimous defense. He was the Northeast Conference Lineman of the Year. And if you want to watch him in July, he'll be playing in the All-Star game. So he was their guard. And then next to him, they had a big tackle, 6'4", 2 1/4. Big rangy kid, that Jack DeGrave. I think this must be his younger brother or cousin or something playing over here. So those two won't be back. Hunter was an honorable mention all-conference lineman, and he played center for him. He's not back. And then Caden's back. So this is kind of what I think they're going to hook their wagons up to this year. 6'1", 205. He was second team on both sides of the ball this year as a junior. So he's back. And then their left tackle was second team both sides of the ball. He's not back. So as we're looking at this, look at how many kids on their team are all conference. And there's a lot of them. And kids will say, like, well, how do we get a bunch of all-conference kids on our team? And the way that you get all-conference kids is you just win your conference, right? that idea that the victor goes, or the spoils belong to the victors, basically, right? If you win it, you get a bunch of votes, and if you don't win it, you don't get a lot of votes. All right, so they have this guy coming back. He was first team unanimous punter, and he was an honorable mention tight end. And this guy bangs the ball. I think he averaged 37.7 yards punting, and I think he had 22 conference punts, and 7 were inside of the 20-yard line. So this guy can get the ball in the air, and this guy can place the ball too. You remember this guy, Hayden Conkle? So he was first team unanimous offense, first team unanimous defense. He was a Northeastern D-back of the year, and he will also be playing in the All-Star game in July if you want to go over to Oshkosh and watch him. He's not back, though. Evan's back. He was honorable mention both sides of the ball. And Lucas is back. So this guy last year threw for 1,453 yards, threw for 120 yards a game, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks. And he runs a lot of flood. He runs a lot of wiggle. He runs a lot of moving pocket stuff. So he doesn't want to set up in one spot. Fullback. You remember this guy, Kenny Satori, 6'1", 205, big kid. First team unanimous offense, first team unanimous defense. He was their defensive player of the year for their conference. He is also playing in the All-Star game in July. He's not back next year. And then Elijah Shefchik is not back next year. He was second team all-conference, rushed for 18 touchdowns, averaged 107 yards a game. So that's what their offense looks like. So what does this tell me? This tells me, well, I just mentioned this. So what does it kind of look like in the backfield next year? Well, they have guys that are getting their ball already this year. And so I think they'll just plug these two guys into this spot. This is it, Reese Johnson and DJ Van Lanen. And what's interesting is you've got Kenny, big fullback, right? Big, tall, kind of wide body kid. And then the kid replacing him, I think, is kind of that same size, that 6 foot, 205, right? So you get a big fullback replacing a big fullback, and then you get a kid that's been running the ball this year, stepping up next year. So in my estimation, if you've got the backs that you need to run this offense, you have the quarterback back, you run a lot of flood and you run a lot of wiggle, and you have your tight end back, and you run a lot of flood and you run a lot of wiggle, and you've got this guy that caught 6 touchdowns last year. I don't think you change anything, right? I think you run the same thing. Now, here's where they're going to have a little bit of a challenge, I think, but I don't know. If you look at this, and you look at their big dudes, right? So we've got a big dude graduated. We've got a big dude coming back. I haven't seen him on film yet. Big dude coming back. And then a big dude graduated. Big dude coming back, right? And we know that that's that good second team guard and D lineman right there. And then your next bigger dude, gone. That's the fullback, gone. That's your tight end, gone. Don't know who that is. Now we're into the halfback. And now we're looking at O-linemen that are about 175 pounds, right? 175, 175, 160, 145. So what it looks like, they have these big dudes this year, and they're graduating. And they're replacing them with smaller guys, but you don't see a lot from the sophomore class, because if you remember from last year, they brought 2 buses over for the scrimmage, and they had a lot of kids. I think, weren't they like right around like that 70 number for the number of kids? So what we see in here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. See 15 seniors, but then I think we see 20 juniors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20 juniors, and then they only have 2 sophomores listed. So what do I think's happening? What I think you're going to see next year is the linemen now that they need for next year are probably sophomores now, and it'll be juniors next year. So I say on August 12th, catch them while they're learning and just jump on them. Sound good? All right, let's talk about the defense. So on the defense, your nose guard is that Jack DeGrave. He was the big offensive tackle. And then this is Kobe Bradley. So this dude is fun to watch. This was their Connor Reed, 5'6", 175. I think his brother plays out here as an Apex player. So he's back, and he'll be a handful, just like Connor Reed's a handful. At this tackle, they kind of did what we did this year, is tried to run a lot of different looks with their D-line, try to give a lot of guys breaks. So they had their Dakota Steinhurst, who was second team both ways, and then Caden DeGrave, that junior, who was second team both ways. So those positions are both back next year. Here they had their center, who was honorable mention, and then they had their all-star, if you remember from offense, and then they had Phil Burr, who was 6'3", 220, and he was all-conference honorable mention on defense. So those guys are all gone in that position for next year. This is Kenny Satori. So he is a boundary side player. Basically, the boundary side player is the short side of the field, okay, closer to the sidelines. And he plays the boundary side linebacker. Now he's their best player. He's their most physical. He's their all-star. So why would you put your best player as a boundary player? And the reason they put their best player as a boundary player is that's usually teams that are running to the field side. So if our hashes are here and here, we're going to be running here, right? We just have more grass to run to. So you take your best dude back here and you put him away from the play. He's tough to beat. This is the toughest guy on the field to block anytime, is your backside inside linebacker. So this dude right here, 5'8", 190, short, compact, solid. So he's going to get in here and mix things up, and he's going to just pop and set that edge. And then this guy on the backside, he's harder to get to. Then he can just run free and run lanes. Okay? So that's why this guy's tucked in backside there. He's gone. This is Egan Babish. He was their field side inside linebacker. He's also graduated. He was second team all-conference. Gone. Colton Bradley is gone. He was second team all-conference defense. I think he must be his brother, right, at nose guard. So he's the field side apex. Now we're going to talk about this. They asked these guys, these apex players, to do a lot. So they don't like to change their look. Come on, Johnson. They don't like to change their look up front. They like to keep this intact, right? They like to keep this 34 look. So what they ask these two guys to do is they say, we want you to play run to pass, and then we want you to play edge to flat, right? So if it's a run here, you've got the edge. If it's a pass, you are either pressuring or you got the flat out here. So these are the guys we're going to play with. We're going to play with him, and we're going to play with him. Okay. And when we talk about our gift routes, and when you talk about your key screens, these are the guys that we're going to check to pick on. So this is the guy, Colton. He goes to the field side. All right, so he's a flip player. So they'll flip this guy, they'll flip this guy, they'll flip this guy, they'll flip this guy, they'll flip their corners, and then they'll flip their safeties to strength. One of these will be a free safety, one will be a strong safety. This is your boundary side apex. This was a junior this year, DJ Van Landen. This is the guy that we think will be running the ball majority of the time next year. Boundary side corner is graduated. That's Brian Sloma. So he's always going back away from the wide side of the field. And your field side corner is Simon Alexander. He is a junior. He will be back, and he'll be flipping to field. Now you know who you've got back here. You've got Hayden Conkle. So he always goes to the strong side. So when we put Gretz here, he stepped up to Damien, right? And so that's who he was spying right here. And then this guy kind of dropped into a free safety look, almost like they went man, man, cover one in the middle, and then he ran the alleys to the strong side. So you know that Conkle's their all-star. And then they had a couple free safeties. I didn't get to see this guy play at all on film, so I haven't found him yet. But he's returning. He was honorable mention all conference. And then Evan, who was their receiver, was also honorable mention on both sides of the ball. Good. So that's what their offense and defense looks like. The other thing I want to check in with is if you looked at their conference last year, the leading passer in the conference is Lucas Miller from Denmark, right? 1,450 yards. The leading rushers, Shevchik from Denmark and Kenny Satori from Denmark. Leading receivers, Conkle from Denmark. Ethan, I thought it was Evan. Well, it's one of those. How about Ethan and Kenny, both from Denmark? And this is their tight end from Denmark. Defensively, total tackles, Kenny Satori, Hayden Conkle, Egan Babish, all from Denmark. Punt return, Ethan, he's back. Now, I don't even think I could ever catch a punt. I have no skill. But averaging 15 yards a punt return is pretty darn good. So we have to be aware of that next year. Kick return, same thing. Averaging 22 yards a kick return, that's really good. And next year they'll be able to boom the ball. So this guy, Jonah, we noticed before he was first team unanimous punter for the Northeastern Conference. Averages 37.7 yards a punt, right? Bangs them, puts them up in the air, and he can put them down. Only one touchback, but 7 in the 20s, right? So that kid can place the ball. Here are all their all-conference kids. You can find that right on the WISports page. So then the next thing I want to do is I want to take a look at something I mentioned before. So when I go down and I start, now I won't be done preparing this stuff until August 11th. So right now I'm doing this game, or this team, and I've got 5 games on Chilton, and right now I've got 2 games on Wrightstown, and then Little Chute I've got 2 games. So I'm working those right now, but it's fun and it's like doing a puzzle, right? And you keep making hunches, and then you verify hunches. So I've got a lot of hunches about Denmark, but I'm trying to prove them out right now. And the first one that we came up with, we mentioned last time, was what they do with their fullback. So if we take a look at their fullback, I went, how many times do they follow the H? I just called the fullback an H. So I looked up here and I said, okay, they follow the fullback 82% of the time. And then 18% of the time they don't. I'm like, okay, that seems significant. So whenever I get close to 80%, I start getting interested. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you figure out the key, all right, then it's a lock. Then we're good to go. So they, 5 games, 1,381 yards following the fullback, 175 not following the fullback. So then I took it a step further and I said, okay, what about breaking it down between run and pass? So we said if they are running the ball, what percent of the time do they follow the fullback? Bang, 96% of the time. Like, that's huge. And then 4% of the time they are not following the fullback. So if you're a running team and a physical team, like Denmark is, and you're following the fullback 96% of the time, you're giving something up, right? So we should be able to jump on that. Take a look at this. In 5 games, they have running the ball, 1,159 yards following the fullback. So that's 231 yards a game on average. Not following the fullback, running the ball. They have 15 total yards in 5 games. So for all your mathletes out there, 15 divided by 5 is 3. So they're averaging 231 yards a game in the 5 games we have where they follow the fullback, and 3 yards a game when they don't follow the fullback. That is significant. 96% is significant. Now, throwing the ball, kind of 50-50, which is fine. And then I start looking at, okay, so what plays do they run to and away? And we talked about this last time, and I think this is pretty cool. But when you look at flood, waggle, waggle, right? So what is a flood? All a flood is putting guys in 3 planes. What is a waggle? The same thing, except the play action goes away from the quarterback. That's all. That's the difference. Basically, a flood is the quarterback opens the play. The play goes on 3 planes where the quarterback and the play action is going. The waggle is the backs go one way, the quarterback goes the other, but we have drags, we have flats. It's basically a flood to and a flood away. Okay? So if that makes sense, well, how do you defeat a flood and how do you defeat a waggle? Bang! You hit the tight end every time, right? If you hit the tight end, he can't get into his flood spacing, right? He's usually the number 2, either on the front side on a flood, he's dropping into the second progression, right? So you've got the fullback underneath, and then you have a wide receiver on top, and you got the tight end in the middle. So if we're running flood, if you can't let him get into number 2, that makes things tough for the quarterback. Then if you're running a waggle, the tight end drags to the number 2 spot away from the backside, right? So he's dragging across the field to get to his number 2. So if you hit the tight end, okay, and if you pick up the fullback out of the backfield, basically you shut down their 2 biggest threats, flood and waggle. I'll talk about this later too. If you look at all these floods and waggles, you're going to see a lot of twins and splits, and you're going to see a lot of pro and split. So there's things that they're going to do that tips their hat a little bit. Like when you see them go into split backs, that's their 5-step drop, right? They want to throw the ball. Why do you put backs? Why would you take your eye and split them? You want to split them because you want to pass block with those 2. So that's a tell. So we'll have different tells available. Okay. So what did I do next? Sent you guys formation reports. Right now I'm going down the rabbit hole a little bit. I'm trying to figure out what the tight ends are doing when they're running the ball. Are they going to the tight end, away from the tight end? Is there no tight end? Is the tight end pulling? What are they doing? I got some hunches, but I don't have like the data hasn't gotten to like that 80% verification where it's strong enough to make a key yet. We have play types by offensive formations. So what I'm doing now is I'm saying, okay, so pro means it's a tight end and a flanker. And split just means it's a tackle and then a split end. So when they go pro and split, I'm thinking, oh, okay, run pass 84%. All right, that makes sense to me. I see pro split. I see 69% pass or 69% run. I see pro split, 89%. You see where I'm going here? Like, I get interested when I start seeing pro and split. When I see a tight end and a flanker, and then on the other side, I just see a split end, right? That's a tell. Pro split, same thing, pro split, 88%. Okay. Now look at, instead of a pro split, okay, where you had a tight end and a flanker, they went twin split. So they have a split end and flanker out here. right? So they took that tight end and they put him out there. That's interesting, right? Now that we went twins, now we're 50-50 with our pass. Now that we went twins, we're passing. Pro and split, well, what did we think? We thought run, right? Pro with the tight end and flanker, split on the other side. Yeah, 90%. Twin split, what do you think? If you hear twins, yeah, now we're 50-50 pass. Twins tight. See, this is a little bit of a, I got to figure this one out, right? Because we went twins tight and all of a sudden we have 9 runs and no passes. Why is that? I'll have to figure that out. Okay. Twins tight, 50-50. Twins split, we're passing out of twins. Okay, and then we get down into, I talked about split backs. So if I see split backs, I'm thinking pass. If I see split backs, I'm thinking a pass. Split backs, pass. This is super unbalanced. We got 2-back gun. That's like split backs out of the shotgun. Pass. Split backs, run pass. Twins, pass. Twins, pass. Twins, pass, run. Make sense? So we should be able to figure some stuff out, and I just have to dig a little bit deeper until I figure that key out and get you set up in the right spot. The next thing I want to talk about. What they did against us last year. So when we were on offense, what their defense was doing and what they were giving up, and what we're going to look like this year. And I think maybe the best model for us this year is to look at how they defended KLC last year. You know, because KLC spread the field, and KLC had options worked in to take advantage of what Denmark was doing or wasn't doing. We didn't really have that. We were running more of our power game. So let's take a look at our game last year. Against Denmark. And we're going to go when Denmark is on D and we're on O. All right, so the way that their defense is set up is they like to keep this box. They like to keep D end, right? Nose guard, D end, inside linebacker, inside linebacker. And like we said, you know, Satori goes to this is the boundary side, and Babish goes to the field side and all that stuff, and the guys switch. But what they have is they're going to have that interior 5, and then they have 2 apex players. And what the apex players do is they try to split the difference between this guy and this line of scrimmage, right? So he's kind of this no man right in here. And they want this guy and this guy to play edge to flat, pass to run. Okay? And then you're going to have your corner here, and then your strong safety, and then your free safety. So that's what we saw last year. And what you notice with them when they played us, and you're going to notice the difference between when they play KLC, is they aren't honoring our ability to throw it downfield. So if you look at the corner right here and this strong safety or free safety, they're lined up at about maybe 7 yards off the ball. So what they're doing is they're taking a look at where we're going to put our Gretz, where we're going to have our chase, and they want to put guys up in the box, and that's where they want to make everything happen, right? Now, when you see what Kohler does against them, Kohler is able to throw the ball vertically. And since there's a vertical threat, you'll see all these guys back from 7 yards about 10 to 12 yards. So they'll be back in here. So if we can do this, if we can have a vertical threat, and then if we can get the ball out here and have a horizontal threat, basically what that's going to do is that's going to open up this box in here so that Chase doesn't have so many purple jerseys gumming up this area. Like if we can get them this way and if we can get them this way, we can have better matchups. Okay. Take a look, kind of the same thing. We got our 3 guys right inside there. We got our 2 guys in the middle. This is our apex player. This is our apex player. This is our corner, strong on Damien, and then our free safety out here. Let's see if I mark something here. Oh. Yeah, I did mark something here. This is what we have to be aware of this year. If we can get up to the line of scrimmage, take a look to the left, and make a decision on a gift. And if we like it, just go ahead and take it. Because against Denmark, you're going to get so much one-on-one matchup. Okay, I'm going to show you some stuff from our scrimmage last year. And it's just going to make you drool, and you're going to go, man, why couldn't we get that? We're going to get it on August 12th. Okay, so if you can look at the gift route and say, yep, I'm just going to take it. Or if you can look over at the key screens, yes, I'm going to take them. And then if we can't do that, get in the correct RPO relationship. But take a look at this. Like they're going to give us something. And the thing I think you should look at against Denmark is what are you doing with your apex? We know that they're going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intact, right? So now let's look at apex. This apex guy is pulled up inside and he's stepped over to Damien and he stepped over and he stepped up. So basically they're saying Damien's taking us to Chase. So that's what we're doing. Over, over, up. Now, what they're doing is they're leaving this dude all by himself. There's a lot of one-on-one matchups. So look how much grass they leave for this guy. Do you see that right there? There's nothing there. Like if you can find this, beautiful. So take a look at it from this angle. Again, what did they do? This is their intact box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They stepped these guys over because this is Gretz and this is Chase, right? And they are saying he will take us to him. And then they put their apex player who's supposed to be honoring this guy, right? Edge to flat. And they have the apex on this side, edge to flat, run to pass. And then you have your strong safety and your free safety. But look over here. There's nothing. There's nothing, especially if you have good play action. Oh, man. All right, let's take a look at some scrimmage video of you guys against them, too. Like, check this out. Okay. Let's say we just came up and you guys looked over and said, all right, this is my gift route. I'm just going to throw that. So they had the same configuration, except early in the scrimmage, they played around with their apex player being on the ground. But basically the box is the same, 1, 2, 3, and then they went 4, 5. They put their apex player here, right? They put their corner here, and now look at, they have both of their safeties here. Like, who's here? Nobody, right? There's nothing there. So like if you just saw that and you just checked your gift route, like one step, just throw. Isn't that crazy? And again, they asked their apex guys to go run to pass, flat to edge. That's a lot. So that's why we're picking on these guys. You already know what your box is going to be in the middle. Now let's identify, what is this guy doing? What is that guy doing? And then what they're doing out here is he's going run to pass. He's going edge to flat. And then these guys are all manning up. And again, if you see this guy here, there's nothing. It's one-on-one, and there's nobody within 20 yards of you. Like, that's all you. Isn't that cool? So I think our mindset going in for next year is, or August 12th, is let's find out where those apex guys are, and then let's try to make them pay for where they are. I think there's another clip here that I wanted to show you. Same thing, right? Okay, so they've got their box. 1, 2, 3. There are 2. Oh, no. They must have put a backer up here. They must have made their apex here and their apex here. Their corner, safety, safety, and corner. And again, when he's moving over, there's nothing. Check that out. Nice. Let's see if we got another one here. All right. What do we see here? We see their 1, 2, 3, and their corner, their safety, their apex, and they pulled the backer in up here. They didn't do this later outside of the scrimmage. I don't think we'll see this. I think we'll see 1, 2, 3. I think we'll see here and here. I think we'll see safety, safety. I think we'll see apex, apex. But if your apex is coming, there's nobody here because your safety's all the way over here. And look how close they're putting these guys. Again, 7 yards up into the box. Apex, run to flat, or run to pass, edge to flat. They man up. There's nothing. Nothing for this guy right here. All green grass. We talked about the H drag. Again, apex. This is what we're going to see. We're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys in the box. Apex, apex. Corner, safety, safety, corner. Again, apex has edge to flat. So he's looking here. Now he's going to check the flat. Edge to flat. This guy comes inside. Nobody home. Can you see it? Can you see it? Another way that you can beat these guys, especially if they're manning up on the outside, again, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have apex. You've got apex. You got safety. You got safety. Corner. Corner. All right. If this guy's going edge to flat, run to pass, and they're manning up, anytime that you run cross routes or rub routes, someone's going to open up. All right. One more. Oh, this is, we're talking like, this is kind of, looks like what we could be looking like, right? Let's say we had quarterback here, we had our halfback over here, and quarterback looks here first, looks for his left, checks his gift route, and again, whatever your gift route is going to be, you can call slant, fade, out, under, or a hitch. Basically, whatever this guy's doing, I don't even know where he's at. Whatever he's doing, take the opposite. If he's pressed tight, throw the fade. If he's off, throw under. If he's in, run out. If he's out, run in. Okay. So if I'm a quarterback, I take a look at the left. Boy, I like that right now because I don't see anyone out here. And then if you don't like that, you can check to the right side. You can check your screen. You could check here, or you could check here for your screen, or you could check here. Cool thing is the ball goes to one spot, right? Let's take this one. Boom. There's nobody near me. I can do whatever I want, right? Wouldn't that be cool just to step up and find that? Now, I think what we're going to see is going to be a little bit different, though. I think if we show that we can throw the ball vertically, if we can stretch the field, if we can throw the ball out on key screens and easy gift routes, horizontally, you could spread the field, then Denmark's has some things to do. So I'm going to show you what they look like against KLC. Oh yeah. So check this out. This is what we're going to see, fellas. You're going to see your box in the middle, 1, 2, 3. You're going to see your inside linebackers, 4 and 5. You're going to see your apex guy that has to go edge to flat, run to pass. You're going to see your apex guy that has to go run to pass, edge to flat. We're going to have corner, corner, safety, safety. Again, quarterback looks left, quarterback looks right, and then if you don't like it, run your RPO. I like this out here, right? Because you're asking this guy to do a lot to get from here to here. And the cool thing is if you can spread the box, do you see how much farther? Well, really, they're not that much farther right now because, they're in a red zone. But still, they're not. These guys aren't at 7. They're starting to creep back into 8, 9, and 10. But if we can get them to be moving out this way and moving back this way, we can find some things. And then if they open or if they spread out, we've got 5 guys. We can block 5 guys. Or if we're running an RPO and reading this guy, we can block those 5. So that's cool, right? What are we going to see against them? Yeah, this is what I think we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 in the middle. We're going to have an apex player here, corner, corner, safety, safety. See how far out they're moving? And now these guys are moving back. These guys are closer. This guy's at 10 and this guy's at 12 now. Against us, right? They're at 7. So these safeties are aligning right here. Against KLC, they're backing up. So I would say the first thing is, take your look, your left and your right, see what you got, and then see which apex guy you can pick on. And what they do a good job of is just running outs here, because if this guy is told that he's got to check edge to flat, run to pass, you're going to get a step on him on an out right there. Oh, I was looking the other way. They must be looking at this guy right here, at this apex player, and saying, this apex guy's moved in, we should be able to pick here. But it was the same on both sides, right? So these guys are both checking here to flat, here to flat, which lets these guys get an easy step or a quick step. See what we got here. All right. We're in double twins. Gun back. The same thing again, right, fellas? They don't like to change what they do in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We've got our apex. We've got our apex. Let's find out what these guys are doing. And put them in conflict. Remember, these guys have to check edge to flat, run to pass. You could have had either side here, right? And especially in this side, if you're running an out over here, if you can get that ball out there, that's tough. Couple more because I love it. I love it. Let's go trips. We can do that. All right, so we see the exact same thing again. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We see an apex guy over here and our apex guy over here. Corner, safety, safety, corner. Now look at how far off the ball they are. They're at 5, 10, 12. Safeties are at 12 right now. Look at that. Even their corner is backed up now because they have their apex player here. All right. I'm stepping up to the line. I'm a quarterback right now. I'm looking at this apex guy. I'm looking here. This is one-on-one. I take a shot. What can you hit here? Can you hit a slant here? Can you hit a skinny here? Can you hitch? What can you, there's got to be something you can do right there, right? Check that out. That's stealing. Right? That's beautiful. Step and throw. And just think, man, you get this guy honoring this, and you get this guy honoring this, and then this is opening stuff up for our running backs. All right, let's take another look at trips and split. Same thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle. Apex, apex, corner, safety, safety, corner. Look at that. So, again, let's take a look at the apex first, find out what they're doing, see if we can pick on them. And again, can you take something here? Step and throw. Bang. Throw that. They go the other way. So you got your gift side here. You've got your key screen side here. You've got your RPO there. Get one of our seniors blocking out there. We're in business. Trip split. Let's just do a couple more here, and I'll be done. All right. Yeah, I didn't understand this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is their apex. This is their corner, their safety, their corner, and their apex player over here. That's sick, right? What is that guy doing? Like, if the apex player is here already and the corner's here, where's he going? And the thing too, fellas, which makes sense when you have two high safeties like that, is you can always break off in between two high safeties. Like, there's always going to be green grass in between those guys. All right, two more. Trips and twins, no. We probably won't go any empty. Ah, that's good. All right. So what am I doing? I'm still working, figuring stuff out. And again, I'll be working on this till August 11th. But I'm just trying to do my job to make sure that you're in the best positions to have a lot of fun on August 12th. Okay? All right. Get any questions, let me know. And go Raiders!